We sell a lot of oil. We are building pipelines that produce a lot of oil. I'm not giving that up, but I like clean water and know more than anyone about the environment. I'm not gonna lose that wealth on dreams.
Mr. President, there was a significant talk at the summit about climate change. I know in the past you've harbored some skepticism of science and climate change. What do you think the world should be doing about climate change, and do you still harbor that skepticism?
I feel that the United States has tremendous wealth. The wealth is under its feet. I've made that wealth come alive. We will soon be exporting. In fact, we're actually doing it now, exporting. But we are now the #1 energy producer in the world, and soon it will be by far. With a couple of pipelines that have not been able to get approved for many, many years, it'll have a huge impact. I was able to get ANWR in Alaska, could be the largest site in the world for oil and gas. I was able to get ANWR approved. Ronald Reagan wasn't able to do it. Nobody was able to do it. They've been trying to do it since before Ronald Reagan. I got it approved. We're the #1 energy producer in the world. Soon it will be by far the #1. It's tremendous wealth, and LNG is being sought after all over Europe and all over the world, and we have more of it than anybody else. And I'm not going to lose that wealth. I'm not going to lose it on dreams, on windmills.
How are you going to fight climate change?
We know that climate change is happening, but there are plenty of things individuals can do to help mitigate it.
We don't need to ask whether climate change is happening or whether humans are causing it or not. Instead, we need to ask what can we do?
We will, 1, be more conservative with energy usage. Becoming more energy efficient is a great way to prevent pollution. This means that you should do what you can to cut down on energy usage in your household. Make sure to turn off lights and unplug devices that you are not using anymore.
You can educate yourself and others. Whether you use word of mouth or social media, you can help protect the planet by educating others about the dangers of climate change and how to act against it.
So, get active and vote. One of the best ways to improve climate change is to help those who will fight against it get into office.
Recycle. We will invest in recycling. Recycling is a cost-effective and eco-friendly process that eliminates waste and doesn't emit greenhouse gases into the environment. Be sure to collect your discarded paper, glass, plastic, and electronics to your local recycling center.
More, more, more. More, more, more. More, 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 more.
I'm a resident of Antarctica and it's getting too hot for me here. We are declining on the West Antarctic Peninsula, which is one of the most rapidly warming areas on Earth.
Climate change. It's real, it's serious, and it's up to us to solve it. In the last 2 decades, we've experienced 14 of the hottest 15 years on record. By 2050, drought and chronic water shortages could impact 1 billion people, while millions more will be at risk from coastal flooding. It can seem overwhelming, but there's reason for hope. If we embrace solar and wind power to their full potential, we can cut the world's yearly carbon emissions by 1/3. Already, Germany generates 27% of its electricity from renewables, with a goal of 80% by 2050. Denmark has shown it can produce more wind energy than it can use, and England is building the world's biggest offshore wind farm. Communities large and small are taking steps. A new public building in Mexico City has an exterior that breaks down air pollutants, erasing the effects of 1,000 cars each day. Paris installed street tiles that harvest energy from foot traffic. Other cities are paving streets with smog-eating concrete and sidewalks with recycled materials. Individuals can make a difference too, through the choices we make every day. If every American driver drove 10 miles less each week, it could eliminate more than 100 billion pounds of carbon from the air each year. New innovations are making important strides possible, and more are on the way, but we can't wait. Reimagining our world's energy future will take a shared sense of urgency from countries, companies, cities, and all of us. Working together, real change is possible.